What up, nerds? We're doing another DM event here. A quick backstory about this. At this time, I just finished playing this game called Little Misfortune, which is, it's kind of this like side-scrolling point-and-click adventure. Very like indie, a choice-based game. I really like the character, the main character. So I thought I'd kind of recreate that character into the Forgotten Realms. And also kind of creating this overarching story. I'm not going to spoil the game or my actual DM story, but the basic gist is this little girl is kind of cursed with this bad luck, misfortune, as you will. That's the name of the game. Anytime you think of bad luck or curses, you think of Bishaba. For all the D&D nerds out there, anyone know Bishaba? But basically, these adventurers are tasked with bringing this little girl from one city to the other. She has a whole bunch of items that she has to give to somebody, and all of these items are cursed, so she'll eventually lend these items to the players. They'll equip it, and then they kind of just have to deal with this curse as they're traveling from one city to the other. So this first encounter in this trip went sort of smooth. They didn't have any of the cursed items yet, so it was pretty easy for them. I'm kind of just doing a setup right now where, all these items kind of feel heavy to this little girl, so she's gonna ask, hey, can you guys carry some of these items I have? Then she'll give the cursed items, which they don't know it's cursed, to the players. I have a whole bunch that I made prior to people coming in, just in case, we had a large amount of players come in here for the event. I don't really know. A lot of the times, they kind of just like come in near the time when the events start. We have 4 right now, so I'm going to give 4 items, 1 to each of them. So I'm giving one person a ring that kind of makes you like dumber and dumber as you go along. So we got the discipliner, that's the dumb ring, makes you dumber. So that's with one player. We have another one that is called mindless boots, and those are just boots that once they equip them, then I can control their movements. We have the iron thorn, that's the ring that turns you into an undead appearance, but like they still have pretty much the same qualities as a human. It's just their physical form is changed. And we have another ring called the Ring of Clumsiness, and that's basically just like lowers your dexterity. So at random times I'll just like unequip and drop the weapon that person is holding. So I kind of separated this into, it might have been like 3 or 4 different encounters. The first one was the bandit one that you just saw. This is the second one, where I'm kind of just showing how cursed, or like just how bad of a luck that this child is supposed to have. But in actuality, she has good luck, but the players have the bad luck. It's almost like the little girl is reflecting all of her bad luck to the players. So right now I'm role-playing that this little girl is climbing up a tree, having a blast climbing up a tree. Then the ground starts to shake, and the shaking kind of makes her lose balance, and she falls from the top branch but gets caught on one of the lower branches just as she's about to fall down, where this earthquake is happening that ends up being a bullet, and it kind of comes out of the ground. It's like, they call it a land shark. So it comes out of the ground, it kind of reaches up to eat the little girl, but the little girl is caught on the branch of the tree. The players start fighting. All in the meantime, I'm just making these random, actions for these players. The mindless boots, I'm kind of moving her in the wrong direction. I'm dropping the weapon that has the Ring of Clumsiness. The other person is acting stupid, has no idea what's going on. The other person's a zombie. It's all just kind of this chaos happening throughout this trip. Then you finally reach the city to the main NPC that they're bringing these items to. It ends up being a priest for the Temple of Bishaba, the goddess of bad luck, basically. So they're able to reach their destination. They get rid of the cursed items. They bring it back, and they also come upon this ritual that this red wizard is doing. It's pretty common in Thay that red wizards do a lot of like rituals and summonings and stuff, and they'll usually put a shrine to Bethshaba in there to kind of ward away the bad luck, to make sure that nothing bad happens. But because the little girl is here, Ingrid is here, that it kind of affects this ritual. And so as this red wizard is doing, the whatever motions for the ritual, I kind of just made it up. Like the final ritual movement is the wizard like clapping his hands together above the altar, but like a random bug comes out of nowhere. He squishes the bug at the exact moment, and some of the bug's wings and the blood reaches to the altar and completely messes up the ritual, and he explodes into like tiny little pieces, guts flying everywhere, basically implodes in front of all of these adventurers and the priest. And that's pretty much how it ends. This part, sort of like a one-off. This was kind of like my April Fool's Day last year on April Fool's Day, so 2022 on April Fool's Day. I did an event that was basically similar to this, where everyone just kind of had a cursed item, and then, you know, just kind of a fun event that people got to be a part of. But this has kind of a deeper storyline that these players don't really know about. So I just dropped a whole bunch of gold. We'll just assume that's what the Red Wizard had, so, you know, they have some reward for it. And that was pretty much it. Kind of a fun one, a little bit of a shorter one. An event inspired by Little Misfortune. Play the game if you haven't, it's pretty fun. I'm assuming it's cheap. And that's about it.